Welcome to the Writers Weekly Podcast, a forum geared toward the writing enthusiast and those who want to make money from their writing. I'm Brian Whidden, managing editor of Writers Weekly, and I'll be your host along with Angela Hoy, the creator of Writers Weekly and president and CEO of BookLocker.com, a full-service book publishing company. Whether you want to learn how to become a professional writer, how to find writing gigs, or even publish your own book, then you come to the right place. We'll be discussing all kinds of topics relating to the writing and publishing industries. Don't forget, you can also click over to writersweekly.com. There, you'll find not only thousands of articles about professional writing, you can also find current paying markets and job listings to help you boost your writing career and even your bottom line. But for now, let's get on to this episode of the Writers Weekly Podcast. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Writers Weekly Podcast. I am Brian Whidden, your host, and once again, I'm here with Angela Hoy, President, CEO, owner of BookLocker.com, and the person that created WritersWeekly.com.
Here I am. I'm back.
Again, our favorite editor in the world joining us, Clayton Jones.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Brian and Angela. Thanks for having me.
We always love having you on here.
Always love having you here. So we're going to have some fun today. Okay, what's today's episode about? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. We're going to keep them in suspense. Because first we have to talk about home office.
Oh.
And we need to talk about a little incident Angela had the other night.
I was sitting on the back porch with our son Max, and we were standing on the back porch taking a picture of this really weird bug on the window. I'd never seen anything like it. And while we were doing that, a black wasp started buzzing Max, and he did the wasp dance, waving his arms around, jumping around like a maniac.
Now, the crazy thing, this was nighttime.
Yeah, nighttime.
The sun was already down. Usually wasps stay in their nests. They don't, do that kind of thing. But anyway.
Well, what he didn't realize was when he hit the wasp with his hand, it landed on my rocking chair. So when I sat on my chair, within a second, I jumped up screaming, and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I got stung."
Where'd you get stung?
On my left butt cheek. So, for those that I don't think we've ever talked about this before, Brian and I are both allergic to bees, and I'm also allergic to wasps. And in the past 2 years, I've gone to urgent care, twice for wasp stings?
Yeah. I wrote about this in Writers Weekly, but I don't think we ever talked about it on the podcast. I had to give up beekeeping.
Yeah.
Because the stings were getting so bad. I actually got stung on the top of the head through my beekeeping veil.
Yeah.
And I wound up looking like the Elephant Man.
Should have bought a more expensive beekeeping veil.
Or I should have had a bandana on my head through.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, I jumped up, holding onto my butt, ran inside. Brian knew what this meant. He threw the first aid bag on the bed and then went and made a baking soda paste. Came in, I hiked my skirt up. Brian doctored me up. And it was about the size of a dime then, right? Just about the size of a dime.
Yeah, it was your normal looking wasp sting, a little red dot in the middle and then about a dime size swollen area.
Yeah. 45 minutes later, it was about the size of a softball. It was growing and it was burning so bad.
Size of a golf ball in diameter. It wasn't swelling up like a golf ball.
Right, yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was stinging, itching, and aching all at the same time. But the burn was like somebody had a match to my butt. And anyway, Brian bandaged me up and everything, and it just kept growing and growing. And by the next morning, it was the diameter of what, a volleyball?
A dinner plate.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
The swelling.
It was huge.
Really taken off.
And then we had to go pick up our camper, and I was sitting in your truck, and I was so uncomfortable.
Shifting every 5 minutes.
Felt like there was a cushion under my left butt cheek, but the cushion was in my skin because it was so swollen. Yeah. But I couldn't take any Benadryl. I was taking 10 milliliters of Benadryl, but I couldn't take the full dose because I had to pay royalties that day. And can you imagine? An extra zero here, an extra zero there.
Let's just give this one $50 and that one $500.
Once I finished paying the royalties, I took the full dose of 20 milliliters of Benadryl, and about 15 minutes later, I texted Allie. I said, I got to turn my computer off because I'm trying to email authors, but I keep making typos. Anyway,
Doing better now.
yeah, about 6 hours later, it was received. Brian had drawn a line with a Sharpie around it the night before, and of course, it'd gone way past that. But by about 6 hours after the full dose of Benadryl, it started receding back inside the Sharpie line. So,
Yeah.
and now it just itches like crazy. So I'm walking all around the house, scratching my
Your
butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Clayton, tell us a little bit about yourself, especially if you've ever been stung on the butt. Feel free to share.
Well, I have been stung in the face multiple times. Bees like to sting me in my face.
Wow.
And I hear that after you've been stung once, you get some kind of bee pheromone. And,
so they keep coming back.
They keep coming back. Yeah. So the last time I was stung in the face by yellow jackets, I'm not kidding you, it seemed like for months after that, bees were all the time trying to attack my face.
Wow.
That's terrifying, especially where we live.
Little known fact. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yep.
Tell us about your
those who
editing services.
Yeah, who haven't heard of you before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm Clayton Jones. I'm a professor, editor, writer, book marketer, and I offer developmental editing, line editing, proofreading, and I even do some ghost writing and script writing.
Yeah.
He teaches, is it English at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga?
Yes. Yes, at Chattanooga.
So a wearer of many hats.
And very popular with BookLocker authors.
Absolutely.
Lots of authors use Clayton for editing, and a lot of them use him for book marketing.
The authors love him.
Fabulous
In fact,
job.
I think we're going to talk about just how much one particular author loves him.
Yeah.
So Clayton gets to. So today's episode is about. Well, Angie titled it "Misery: Real Authors Who Have Been Stalked." So y'all remember that movie from Stephen King's novel Misery, don't you?
Yes.
Character played by Kathy Bates kidnaps a famous author. She ties him up and slowly dismembers him while repeatedly saying, "I'm your number one fan." And the fact is, Stephen King and his family have endured 4 different stalking incidents and harassment situations.
Yep.
And we'll get into that in a minute. But Clayton, I think you've had a recent
ever popular
run-in.
Jones.
Yeah. I guess it kind of happens sometimes. I mean, it's just about boundaries, right?
Right.
When you when someone aggressively crosses boundaries, professional boundaries that you've drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had that happen recently.
Some people don't understand the difference between professional and personal.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I had an incident where a client that, a potential client, I'll put it that way, didn't seem to understand that the scope of my work for them, my proposed work for them, did not involve harassing phone calls at all hours of the night and dozens of emails and Facebook messages, and it goes on and on. This went on for quite a while.
If I recall, she was like, just leaving you all kinds of voicemails over and over and over, and just she wouldn't leave you alone.
And complaining that you weren't responding to her every message to other people.
Right.
Clayton's not answering
me.
me.
And that too. Yeah, and that too. That blows my mind.
It's kind of like the breakup, but I mean it wasn't necessarily a breakup yet, but you break up with the girlfriend, then she runs around to everybody telling everyone what a jerk you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
There was an incident where this person, we have a dashboard for authors on BookLocker, and that's where we correspond with all the authors. And this person sent me a message at like 2:15 a.m. 2:17 a.m., and at 2:21 a.m. sent a furious message because we had not responded yet. I had not responded yet.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Professional boundaries. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. Till next week.
You mean that's not a 24-hour hotline?
Right.
You got to be kidding.
Exactly.
You don't actually sit there with your computer on your lap all night long waiting for somebody to send you a message.
You wouldn't believe how many authors expect that. Expect you to be on call 24/7.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't give out my phone number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had an incident when we lived in Bangor, Maine, which is where Stephen King lives. Must be something in the water there. This guy.
Yeah, needles.
We would post. We didn't ever post our ad. There, yeah, Bangor, Maine has a bad problem with drug addicts. And
Yeah, there's
homeless
definitely
people.
something in the water there.
Right.
It's, syringes and needles.
We never posted our address online, but we did post pictures around town when we were out with the kids and this stuff. And this guy, who was a Writers Weekly reader and an author, he knew the park was across the street from our house, and he'd seen pictures of the park, so he knew what street we lived on. He stood on that street one day and waited for the mailman to come by and asked for our address, and the mailman gave it to him.
Oh, boy.
And he didn't go to our front door. He walked through our yard and went to the back door and knocked on the door. And I opened the door.
Red flag right there.
Oh, yeah. I opened the door. I said, "Can I help you?" And he went on, "I'm an author. I want you to publish my book. I'm a real big fan. I read Writers Weekly. I've been reading it for years." I said, "This is extremely inappropriate. Leave and never come back." And he did.
Yep.
Yeah. But then I filed a complaint with the post office.
Gosh, we ought to talk about Chicken Man.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot all about Chicken Man.
Yeah.
We'll fit that
I
in
forgot about
somewhere.
Chicken Man too.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Chicken Man.
We'll save that for the end.
So you told this guy this is highly inappropriate.
Yeah, and I told him, "Leave right now, never come back," and he didn't.
Well, good.
Which is good.
At least he
because-
listened. Yeah.
And that really surprised me. And I had little kids at home
Yeah.
at the time. That's like me,
And
finding out the address of some magazine editor I want to write for, and walking around her house to her back door and knocking on it saying, "Hey,
yeah.
I've been reading your magazine for years. I'm a real big fan." I'm like,
Yeah.
Boy,
I'm your number one fan.
And this is why you all in the audience, if you're on Facebook or on Writers Weekly or Booklucker, you're never going to see an actual picture of Angela. You'll see a pencil sketch, or you'll see a
emoji.
cartoon drawing of her with a cat that somebody came up that we thought was very, very good.
Yeah.
She uses that sometimes, but because of that incident and some others, she does not show she does not put up pictures of herself, because that has rattled her cage enough that she's decided that she doesn't want the public knowing what she looks like.
There was the final writers conference I went to, and we've talked about this before, where I finished speaking. It was like 1,000 people there, and women followed me into the bathroom, or were talking to me through the stall door.
You're trying to go to the bathroom with
Trying to pee, right? And they're literally standing, this crowd of women outside the stall door, all over talking each other to ask me questions and talk to me. And I thought that was so inappropriate, so incredibly rude. And that was the moment I decided I was never going to be on the speaking circuit again. I stopped speaking. I flew home, and I've never spoken in public since. Yeah. And also, we don't put my picture online because of our scam busting activities.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Lots of death threats. Lots and lots of death threats.
Which is why our home is blurred out on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Which is why we have 2 very large dogs.
Yep. Yeah.
And why I have lots and lots and lots of guns.
Yep.
Because
and I'm always packing too.
We actually have people telling us they want to kill us because of the work we've done to stop scammers. So
yeah. And I do have a stalker right now, but I'm not going to say anything about that situation because, well, that just adds flame to the fire.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. But yeah, you do have somebody right now very, very,
very interested in me. Yeah.
Well, so according to Psychology Today, this kind of thing is called erotomania. Now, it ain't what you think. Give us a chance.
Right.
It's not that. It's because that's autoerotica. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
Get your head out of the gutter, people.
Right.
Exactly. We're talking about erotomania, and it's a special kind of fixation. And people who suffer from it develop the delusion that another person, who's usually a celebrity or somebody of higher social status, really loves them.
They truly believe it.
They envision an entwined destiny with this person, and feel a persistent need to contact or to see this imagined lover, kindred spirit, whatever they think this person shares with them.
Right.
And it triggers episodes of stalking.
Yeah.
Now, only about 10% of stalkers are erotomanic. But most are aggressive, and they may send unwanted letters or packages, make numerous phone calls, Clayton, or take up a pursuit, or showing up at your back door kind of thing. They might even break into a home. Sometimes they purposely endanger the object of their affection so that they can offer rescue or be a hero. So we're going to post a link to that Psychology Today article at the end of this podcast on writersweekly.com/podcast. And this is episode number 58. Is it 58? No,
Wait.
we're at 48.
Well, I put the wrong number.
Boy, you are
I'm doing good today, aren't I?
Enthusiastic, aren't you?
I've been concentrating on scratching my butt.
There you go.
It itches.
Here, you want the mouse?
Yeah, give me the mouse.
It's a computer mouse. I'm not giving her a real mouse to scratch her butt or anything.
Bite my butt. They mentioned unwanted letters and packages. I get unwanted letters and packages all the time. Authors send me things that I didn't know they were coming. And I'm real careful about what I open.
A lot of authors send you their books.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about other things. I've had people send me, we've had authors mail gifts for our grandkids.
Yeah, that's a little.
It's sweet,
weird.
but it's just,
It's creepy.
Yeah. Well, it's a little creepy, and I'm sure they were all very kind-hearted about it and well-intentioned. But with all the death threats we get, I get nervous when I get packages in the mail that I'm not expecting.
Yeah. That's why I have to open all the packages, because in case something blows up, it's me, not her. Anyway.
There's that anthrax stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some of the authors we're going to talk about today have had erotomania stalkers. Some of them are different, just aggressive. The problem is, if the author continues to rebuff the stalker's advances, things can go downhill very fast for the victims, including loss of reputation, loss of income, intense fear, or far worse. Also, according to Psychology Today, even if the target person denies any feeling for the stalker, erotomanics, quote, know the truth, their own truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you say you don't love me, I know you do. I'm your number one fan. Every gesture, even a restraining order, is a sign of affirmation. They're connected. So when these authors up the game and go to court and get, order protection or something, that actually can push the stalker to have even more contact.
Yeah.
And I know this is a shocking statistic, but approximately 90% of stalkers have a mental disturbance.
Mm-hmm. Clayton, do you think most stalkers have a mental disturbance?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know my buddy Billy Bob. Yeah. So Billy Bob had a pretty good stalker.
Oh, hold on, our readers don't remember. Clayton works with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I have done some things. Yeah. I've done some things with him.
You've done some work with him.
Yeah.
He had one that actually there's a song about it with his band, the Boxmasters, called Light Waves.
I didn't know he had a band.
Oh yeah, they're
no
a wonderful band. Yeah. Billy Bob's he's a musician first rather than an actor.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, the story goes on that one that the girl believed that she could send her thoughts into the atmosphere and that he would get them.
You're sending light rays over my way. They help me ignore the stupid things you say.
That is a sign of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Thinking that you can broadcast thoughts or thoughts are being broadcast to you. Yeah, that's one of the signs of schizophrenia.
We're learning all kinds of stuff today. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
And it eventually got out of hand.
Yeah.
Started with fan letters and then, escalated from there.
Yeah.
The price of fame.
That's true.
Well, let's go over some of these incidents for the authors that have been stuck. Let's start with Stephen King.
By the way, I'm not his number one fan.
You've told us numerous times. Yes. So I don't think Stephen King needs to worry about you stalking. If only we could park a bunch of sexual predators on his front lawn.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
We wouldn't stalk him though. Let's start with Stephen King. 1991. Despite the fact that he had no trespassing signs on his property, a man from Texas broke into his business office first, and then he broke into his home when King's wife Tabitha was there. He claimed he had a bomb and demanded an audience. Tabitha escaped to a neighbor's house, and the guy pled guilty to burglary and terrorizing, and he served 4 months in prison and then was extradited back to Texas.
Now, Stephen King's house in Bangor, Maine is a beautiful Victorian home. It's huge. It's got this ornate wrought iron gate that has been shaped into like spider webs and stuff.
Wow.
It's a really, really cool gate. I can't imagine how that guy got in there.
But that wrought iron fence and gate is a sure sign that you don't just want people walking up.
Oh, yeah, and
your
it's
house.
always closed. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Well, in 1992, this is also regarding Stephen King, a California man was served a harassment order for moving to Bangor and claiming King was responsible for the death of John Lennon. This nut job actually parked his van in downtown Bangor. So he had this van, and he had hand-painted all his allegations against Stephen King on the van, parked it downtown where everybody could read it. And he got in trouble as well. And in 2003, a Czech, how do you say that? Czech national was arrested for stalking after approaching Tabitha King while she was out walking their dog. He also left weird notes in the couple's mailbox. King felt threatened enough to load his handgun. He and his wife have endured other incidents as well over the years. Yeah.
So there was a British poet. So we're moving on from Stephen King here. A British poet named James Lasdon. And he was also a novelist and an essayist. Essayist.
Teaching each other pronunciations.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
He took one of his creative writing students under his wing because she had a promising talent. And he later wrote about the incident in his memoir called Give Me Everything You Have. And in the book, he called her Nazreen.
Now, notice we're going to see a pattern. Billy Bob Thornton wrote a song about a stalker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clayton's shaking his head.
And then
And now we're seeing authors turning their stalking incidents into books.
Yeah.
Best-selling books. Yeah.
Which I would assume it's such a traumatic event that if your outlet to deal with things is to write or sing, then this would be a definite trigger for that.
Yeah.
So they continued to respond after she graduated, but 2 years later, after advances were repeatedly rebuffed by the author, her stalking turned to digital and virtual attacks. He attempted to get authorities involved, but they lived in two different states, and her acts were considered misdemeanors. And I know the frustration of trying to deal with something between multiple jurisdictions,
Right.
and the authorities not wanting to do anything about that.
Yeah, and that's something we'll tell that story in the future.
Someday.
Clayton knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lasdon received hundreds of vicious, anti-Semitic, and angry emails, along with violent voicemail messages. And for anybody who's listening to this who has any, ideas about stalking authors, all of these stalkers end up in big trouble with the courts, and most of them go to jail. Yeah, don't do it. Plus, you just look so stupid when you do it.
Well, yeah,
you look like a nutcase. Yeah. Now remember, he calls her Nazarene. Nazarene posted negative reviews of his books on Amazon and elsewhere. She altered his Wikipedia page. Now that was creative. Yeah, because anybody can add something to a Wikipedia page or change it. And she set up face accounts. She set up. I need a nap. She set up fake accounts to leave malicious comments. Now, according to the New Republic, and we're mentioning several media outlets today. We're going to put links to all of them under this episode at writersweekly.com/podcast, episode 48. I got it right that time. Yeah. So according to the New Republic, she sent hundreds of emails to his colleagues, employers, and prospective publishers accusing him of plagiarism, philandering, stealing her work, and even in being involved in her rape.
Oh, boy.
Now, some of these stalking victims have lost jobs and have lost income because
Oh, they should. Oh, no, well, I'm sorry, not the victims. The perpetrators should.
Right.
Yeah,
but the victims, and when they are the target of this type of hatred and these types of lies online,
the problem with somebody that's mentally unhinged like that or emotionally unhinged is they're willing to say anything.
Yeah.
So when they're insulted, rebuffed, hurt, and there's nothing worse than somebody who's got a few screws loose who feels like a victim.
Right. Because
then to them anything is justified.
Yeah.
Anything they want to do because this person hurt me.
And it's all about getting attention for themselves.
Yeah.
If you know that you have psychologically affected the target of your stalking activities, it just feeds them, feeds their fuel. Yeah, fuels their feed or
comments
something like
Clayton?
that. Yeah. Clayton, you got some stalking stories there?
Well, I've got a pretty good list of books about stalkers. In fact, if you just go to Amazon and you type in stalker novel,
well, there's a lot of them.
I don't.
So
man,
there's a whole genre of this.
There's a whole genre, and in fact, it could have been one of our trivia questions last week. How many novels have the word stalker in the title? There's a bunch. A bunch, and yeah, it looks to be like it could be a subgenre of fiction for sure.
Yeah,
it's called Stalker Lit. Is that it?
Stalker Lit,
Stalker
literature. Yeah. Gosh, and those
Yeah.
are all just like guidebooks for wannabe stalkers, right?
Right. Yeah,
maybe. I think it's just it serves that because honestly, I think everyone has a little bit of morbid fascination with the stalking phenomenon.
Well, sure,
not that
it goes way back.
Stalk.
Yeah, it goes way back. What was the name of the film with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close?
Wait a minute, like not 48 Hours.
I literally read that yesterday when I was doing research for this episode.
I can
Obsessed or
something
or well, you're
that's
gonna have
one where they
to
like
this part.
boil he opens up a pot and his cat's in there or something
Cat
like
or rabbit
that.
or something.
Fatal Attraction.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
Boy,
Yeah, that's one. So that's maybe the oldest, most popular kind of stalker movie I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have,
Of course,
Then you have
didn't he
the-
screw around with her once or twice before he decided not to have anything to do with her and she stalked him?
yeah,
I think he had a little affair there.
yeah. I think she may have been the mistress.
Yeah. I mean, not that he deserves to be stalked for that, but he did
Yeah.
kind of trigger something. So,
Yeah.
One of the authors we're
Had it
talking about
coming.
today
yeah.
it involves an ex.
Yeah. One of my
then-
exes stalked me once.
Really?
And
Well,
then-
let Clayton finish.
Okay.
And then there a couple of these novels that are worth mentioning. There's You by Caroline Kepnes, and it's a social media stalker novel.
Wait,
which, you
didn't
know,
they spin that into a TV show?
TV
a
show,
series?
yeah.
I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah,
You.
well, we've watched all those episodes. Yeah, they're really good. We'll put a link to that under this episode as well.
Yeah, I remember.
Here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
that was really good.
And then there's the collector, John Fowles.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, where the guy kind of he collects women like butterflies.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So that one kind of crosses the line as a stalker, and it's more of a kidnapping kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still about the boundaries.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Oh wait.
Enduring Love by Ian McEwan. That's a pretty famous one.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a freak balloon accident, and
There's a freak balloon accident, and what then?
Well,
Yeah, and
because
then
that
the
starts
character
somebody
gets
stalking.
obsessed. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Everything takes a turn, of course.
That's why I stay off balloons.
Right.
Well, it was probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before I met you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a girlfriend of mine for, I think we were together about 2.5 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And things just weren't working out. You know, we just weren't right for each other.
Mhm.
And so I broke it off. Of course, this is when I'm living on the boat. And, so I start getting, the texts and the emails, please, we need to be together. We can fix this, da, 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 da. And, it's like, nah, not interested.
Yeah.
And I actually started, seeing another girl for a bit that knew that had met and knew of, well, they knew of each other, my old girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And this new girl happened to be hanging out with me on my boat one evening, and the old girlfriend happened to be driving through the parking lot of the marina that night.
Oh boy.
What a coincidence.
And yeah, especially seeing as she lived about 10 miles away, and happened to notice that other girl's car in the parking lot.
Oh Lord.
And you remember how big the parking lot was.
Yeah.
There's plenty of cars in there, but
It's definitely staking you out.
somehow she figured out that this was the other girl's car, and somehow managed to get through the locked gate to my pier,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure she just waited around for somebody to leave and then
Oh,
slipped
sure.
through.
Right.
And as me and this other girl are below decks just hanging out, somebody started, I'm getting this, knocking on my hull, and I'm like, what? Who is this? And I come up, and there she is, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
And she's like, do you have so-and-so in there? I'm like, ain't none of your damn business
Right.
who I've got in there. You forget we're broken up.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting night. Yeah.
For people that aren't part of boating communities, if you live on a boat, people just knock on any part of your boat when they approach. There's no doorbell.
Yeah, there's no real doorbell. They can just,
Not
you
even
pretty
a
much
door, yeah.
you pretty much knock on any part of the boat, you're going to hear it inside.
Yeah,
You can
right.
knock on the deck, on the hull, on the bow, stern, whatever.
Right.
So
Let's talk about Peter James.
Peter James, well, he wrote about his incident, and
Yeah.
he says, at first I didn't really notice her. I was doing a book signing in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. This is in the UK.
That's UK.
Yeah.
And there was nothing remarkable about the woman who quietly approached my desk carrying a copy to be signed. Somewhere in her mid-30s, she was nondescript, medium height, and with fair rather than blonde hair.
Yeah. However, then she showed up at another event in a different city, and another one, and another one. Then she started sending him emails, lots and lots of emails. And she got upset. I mean, in the beginning, he'd say she complimented his book, and he wrote back, "Thank you so much."
Thank you.
And then she
Yeah.
kept emailing him, and he just stopped responding. And then she got mad.
Mm.
I think this is the one I read about. She emailed him and said, you're not responding to me. I'm so worried about you. I'm afraid you've like fainted on your floor. You're dead or something, right? I mean, just really anything to get him to respond, right?
Oh boy.
So this is the creepy part. Later, she built a shrine in her home and sent him pictures of it.
Oh lordy.
It had candles. It had all of his books, all the magazines that featured his articles in them. She bought all those magazines where he'd read articles. But far more terrifying, she had framed photos of him out in public. Him getting into a taxi cab, him walking down a sidewalk. She had been following him.
Well, I just want to know one thing.
Hmm.
We've been together 10 years. Where's my shrine? Where in this house do I have a shrine? Come on, man. You're falling behind here.
You get your shrine.
She must not really love you, Brian.
I don't think she really loves me.
I'm not stalking you.
I should have a Brian shrine.
Right.
Right.
I'm going to ask my wife the same thing. Where's my shrine?
Candles, pictures of me, some of my favorite articles of I don't know, items and knickknacks.
This house needs remodeling.
Okay.
Well,
to the story.
He wasn't married, but he had a girlfriend that was living with him at the time. They lived like half a mile from the next house. They were out in the sticks. And eventually somebody broke into their home, but the person who did it was never caught.
No.
After that, his girlfriend refused to stay there alone anymore. They moved. They were forced to move because of this woman. He had to install an alarm system that cost £20,000, and he had to hire security guards.
That's because they live in the UK, which does not have a Second Amendment. Go for it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He too included his stalker as a character in his book, Not Dead Yet.
Starting to see a pattern.
That's a creepy title, isn't it? Says it all.
Now, according to The Guardian, Paul Lomax was a man who was convinced that he and J.K. Rowling had met on a train before she wrote the Harry Potter books.
Oh, Clayton's shaking his head. You've heard this story, haven't you?
Have you?
Yeah.
So, of course, he thought they had a special connection.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And he was banned from contacting her in 2007 after bombarding her with letters, and it was culminating in a death threat comparing her to the murdered playwright Joe Orton.
Boy, they go from love to I'm going to kill you in a
Pretty quick,
pretty
don't they?
quick. Yeah. Okay, in this story, this is interesting. An author became a stalker. Okay.
Wow.
You've heard of authors who are really sensitive about bad reviews, right?
Gee, yeah. I think I've heard of some authors that don't like being told that they need to change some things in their book when you edit them.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Really?
And
There was, I edited a book, and the author, I was very friendly and professional. I complimented parts of the book. Other parts I said,
You were.
You need to change this. I said, I thought this was a children's book. I don't understand why the words murder and torture are in it. I don't recommend having those words in a children's book. Again, I was very friendly and professional. She came out punching, man.
Swinging.
She was swinging. She was furious.
she was casting some
Absolutely
voodoo on you.
furious, man. Well, something like that.
So with people, what is it with people wanting to cast voodoo spells on you? What the heck? Every time you piss somebody off, they want to.
There was that Nigerian scammer in one of the podcast episodes, and he was sending me voodoo. Yeah, he was sending me voodoo spells through Facebook in the middle of the night. Okay, so the author's name is Kathleen Hale. She received a bad review on Goodreads. She got mad. Very, very mad. The story's so crazy. Kathleen then stalked the book blogger and online critic who wrote under the pseudonym Blythe Harris. Hale then tracked down the reviewer's real name and address using background checks, showed up at her house, and called her at work. She later detailed this experience in an essay published by The Guardian, which resulted in significant backlash against the author. I don't know why. She actually wrote about what she did, and I guess she expected people to, oh, yeah, you were justified doing that. So,
Yeah.
we have an article on Writers Weekly about how you should never argue with a book reviewer, and we'll include a link to that under this episode as well.
Okay. So one blogger had written about Well, I'll read it.
Yeah, yeah, you're just quote this blogger.
When an author stalks a reader, turns up at their doorstep unannounced, and calls them at work, it's not because the reader deserved it. It's because the author decided that their need to control how a reader reacts to them and their work gives them a right to violate the reader's privacy and threaten their sense of security. And this having to do with the story that we're talking about.
The crazy author, yeah.
According to BuzzFeedNews.com, Hale was also doxxed. People sent her Google Maps photo of her mother's home so she could experience how Harris might have felt being pursued by Hale. Yeah. Hale later said, the real life effects of that little uproar around me, my little internet scandal, were that my career in young adult literature was finished.
Yep. Yeah, she dug her own grave.
Yeah.
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 According to the survey results by the bookseller in 2017, 54% of women and 38% of men working in the publishing industry have experienced harassment. What's bizarre is that many of the people doing the harassing and stalking were other publishing industry professionals. Now, what is it with our industry?
Which makes you wonder if there's a mental health crisis in the publishing industry.
Yeah.
Well, my wife asked me the other day. She's like, "What is going on? Why does this happen so much?" And I said, "Well, it's an industry where you got to have a thick skin.
I think there's a lot of narcissism.
I was going to say, yeah.
That,
right.
and when that's challenged, boy.
Yeah.
The problem is so prolific now that the Society of Authors has specific guidelines for how to handle an attack when it happens.
Yeah, it's bad when you got to come up with guidelines
right?
for an entire industry on how to handle stalkers.
But we have talked about this before. Authors, I think a large percentage of authors have a certain degree of narcissism.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have to think that you're going to write something and everybody wants to read it.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
It comes with the game. If you don't feel that what you have to say is worth anything, you're probably not going to write a book.
Right. Right.
You have to have a certain level of people want to know what I think.
And there's a healthy high self-esteem.
Yes.
But then sometimes it goes much farther than that. Yeah.
According to the BBC, Greg Downing began harassing writer Catherine Quarmby after she stopped dating him in 2008.
This is the one I talked about. The ex went after the author. Yeah.
The writer was nominated for the Orange Prize for short story fiction. She was also a journalist working for the BBC, The Economist, and several national newspapers. She initially reported Downing to the police after receiving numerous unwanted texts, calls, and emails. Her stalker, Downing, wrote a short online novel about stalking, raping, and murdering her. Well, gee,
right?
Because
it was just a short one.
Yeah, just a short one.
It was only 51 pages.
And he used her real name. Not very subtle.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The mother of two discovered the novel after searching her own name on Google. Before she found his story online, he'd already been convicted of stalking her on 3 separate occasions.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a witness statement read out in court, the victim said, "This seems like a fantasy or story which includes harassment, burglary of my home." Yeah, he also broke into her house. No, he talked about breaking into her house in his novel, online novel. Burglary of my home, rape, and then finally murder. I'm entirely worried about my personal safety and also my children's safety. I feel as though I'm a prisoner in my own home. Despite help from the police, I still feel at risk. Threats were made were of a very serious nature. And that really explains how people who've been stalked feel. They're not, every time they step out their door, they don't know what's going to happen or what might happen.
Loss of control of your own life.
Right.
I mean, you literally are looking over your shoulder every minute.
Yeah.
Not knowing what somebody's capable of.
Yeah. Clayton, keep an eye on over your shoulder.
Or you can do like Rob Schneider did, and you can hire your stalker as your driver because they're so good at knowing your schedule.
Okay, we've saved the most bizarre yet terrifying story for the last.
Y'all gotta, man, y'all gotta hear this one.
This particular stalker, using the name Faith, was successful in getting an author fired. Wait until the end, though. You're not going to believe who the stalker really was. So the headline on boundingintocomics.com states, Battletech writer and New York Times bestseller author Blaine Pardoe canceled by publisher over false claims made by online stalker. And I've several years back, I was very interested in Battletech.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been around. It was around
Battletech,
for a long
Warrior,
time. Yeah.
all that stuff. I was mostly into the video games. Yeah, so anyway.
The other day, Brian was watching BattleBots.
I was watching BattleBots. I don't even know if they do that anymore, but there's a whole darn YouTube channel dedicated to BattleBots.
I watched it for about 5 minutes. I had to go walk outside.
I
Breathe
spent
fresh
the
air, man.
weekend binge watching BattleBots. Yeah.
Clayton, have you seen that show?
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
guy thing.
BattleBots are awesome.
That's it. Clayton's down with it.
Yeah. We might have to start building some BattleBots.
There you go.
Yeah, y'all do that.
Can
And
you
your wife
imagine-
Britt and I are going shopping.
Now we're
Right.
down a rabbit hole. Can you imagine what kind of money that costs those people to build those things,
Oh yeah,
only to have them tore up in that ring? It's amazing.
yeah.
Okay, back out of the rabbit hole here. Initially, Pardo was targeted online by someone claiming to be a lesbian nurse who was adopting 2 children. And she was very successful in getting attention. The author wrote, quote, after 37 years of writing the series, I found myself canceled for voicing my conservative beliefs, unquote. This is what the renowned author claims.
Yeah. So again, according to boundingintocomics.com, Pardo explained that in January of the previous year, 2 individuals complained to his publisher requesting his books be pulled from publication for containing alleged, this is in quotes, hidden Confederate messages. I can't even imagine what. Yeah. Clayton's heard this story too.
And that's
Makes sense.
that's just stupid because the BattleTech world is multiple factions, multiple planetary governments, wars between, just like Earth. You
Yeah.
know, there different countries that don't like each other, and in those countries are different factions of groups, and everyone's just can't get along. But there's alliances between this group and that group, and they fight against this group and that group, and things can change.
Well, this was
So where do you find a hidden Confederate message in there?
well, and again, these crazy people, they can find some kind of meaning in anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. These would seemingly be works produced outside of BattleTech. Okay, so he also had novels he was writing for different publishers. As Catalyst Game Labs, that is BattleTech's owners, responded that my political beliefs didn't matter as long as they were not in my novels. Pardo added, I warned the company that the person was an online stalker who had been harassing me for nearly 2 years. Going back to March of 2021, the writer explained that the event coincided with the announcement of his first conservative political thriller called Blue Dawn. He wrote, outraged, my stalker contacted a fellow writer with the following directed at me. Now, the words are spelled out, but I'm going to pronounce them the nice way. I want to effing shoot him in the effing crotch for this SHIT. And I want him to die in a fire. The stalker went online, massively trashing his book online before it even hit the market. She hadn't even read it.
So law enforcement got involved with this and figured out who the real person was, and it was not a self-proclaimed lesbian nurse who was adopting 2 children. So anyone want to guess who it was?
Clayton, do you know the answer to this?
I don't.
Well, it turns out it was a 39-year-old man who was living with his parents.
Clayton shaking his head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember now.
Probably sitting in the basement in his
In the
underwear,
basement.
typing away on that
In his underwear.
on that computer. Yeah. A judge, of course, issued a protective order. The author writes, the smear campaign was led by the man who had threatened my life. I was told that fanatics asked my publisher to make this go away. My publisher's solution was to inform me he would no longer publish my work.
Can you believe that?
His offer to write under a pseudonym, like several other authors, was rejected. He says, then I pointed out the most egregious aspect. Pardo declared, as he quoted himself, you are literally siding with the person that threatened the life of one of your most productive and popular authors.
And I tell you, if I'd gotten fired over something like that, I would
think
probably
it'd be a
file a
lawsuit.
law firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the dude living with his parents, yeah, he worked at a big box retailer in Pennsylvania. He had previously pled guilty to issuing terroristic threats with intent to terrorize another and harassment in a Pennsylvania court in 2020. Again, that's all public record.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also banned from his former place of employment. So
probably was harassing people there too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Those were things he pled guilty to before he started harassing this author.
Former place of employment.
Right. And the author's publisher caved to pressure put on them by a lunatic. I definitely.
Idiot.
Yeah. Wow. According to the Bureau of Statistics, 1.3% of the general adult population will experience stalking. However, the U.S. Library of Medicine reports the numbers are far higher among journalists, with 12 to 14.2% of them reporting being stalked. We're in a very dangerous business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clayton, you got any other stories for us?
Well, I can't help but think that maybe there's just a reason for this, like maybe they just wanted to be friends. They just wanted to be friends, Brian.
I'm your number one fan.
Yeah.
So before you make that phone call, before you send that email, before you write that letter, before you stand outside in the rain outside of somebody's house, just remember, there's a little bit of stalker in all of us.
Oh, that's great.
I do have a few other books here. Actually, I've got some movies.
Ooh. I'm gonna grab my pencil.
There was single white female.
So if you're interested in stalking, write this down.
Yeah, write this down. Here's your course.
Yeah.
Single white female. You remember that one?
I remember the title. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That was an early one, and my absolute favorite is Cable Guy.
Cable Guy. I love that one.
There's so much testosterone here right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we already mentioned Fatal Attraction. The Fan, that had Robert De Niro in it.
Yeah, The Fan. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's what the name of that one was.
That sounds
Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
I remember that.
One.
Yeah.
I think that was a Stephen King one too.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Cape Fear, was that that was kind of a stalkery one. Yeah, so some of them end up being more horror films.
Yeah.
Well,
stalking is kind of horrific.
What was the one? See, now I can't even remember her name. The actress. Yeah, never mind.
But yeah, I mean, this list goes on and on and on.
Who played Runaway Bride?
That was
Trying to remember her name. I can't remember her name.
I can see her face in my brain.
I know. Oh well, she was in another movie where she was married to an abusive husband, and like fakes her own death by falling off a sailboat because he knew she couldn't swim, but she had secretly taken swim lessons so that she could swim across some bay.
Sandra Bullock.
No, was it Sandra Bullock was Runaway Bride? Okay, that's not the one. I'm trying to think of somebody else, and I can't remember her name. But yeah, she actually swims across this bay and gets away and starts her whole life again, over again. But he finds her and into a stalker thing. So
yeah. So just remember if anybody
Woman. Who did Pretty Woman with Richard Gere.
Julia
I
Roberts.
can't remember. Julia Roberts. So she plays this abused woman that does all this. Anyway, and the ex-husband goes out looking for her and stalks her and finds her and stuff.
Well, we'll have to watch that.
But I don't remember the name of the movie. But anyway,
No,
okay.
no. That's what Google's for.
Yeah, Julia Roberts stalking movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in closing, I just want to remind everybody who's got a weird obsession with Brian, me, or Clayton that we live in Second Amendment state.
We live in one of the best Second Amendment states, and Angie and I live in
Probably
on top of the mountain with a lot of undeveloped forested land where
And we own a shovel.
they may never find you.
Oh, and there's the wood chipper.
Well, now listen,
There's always the wood chipper.
I'm not saying that I would use such a thing, but
Well, wouldn't get caught.
do need some wood around here.
Also, our neighbors are aware of our scam busting activities.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whenever somebody comes on our road with a vehicle that we don't recognize, I belong to this text list. It's called The Hens. And you can see the messages coming from the farthest house near the front of the neighborhood. It's like, ding, 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 ding. Anybody see that white, Chevrolet
We live in
something?
a great neighborhood
Yeah.
where all the neighbors
Well,
are very nosy. And
What about the Chicken Man?
Oh,
That's right, Chicken Man. Before we wrap this up,
Chicken Man.
Chicken Poop Charlie.
This is why
He just
Angie
wanted to be
should
your
never-
friend.
This is why Angie should never be allowed on Facebook. So
This is true. This is
yeah,
true.
I know. So what did you put out there to
There was a guy on the local Facebook
who
page.
was looking for
He
okay,
was looking
yes,
for
yes.
chicken poop.
So this is right after I broke my back.
Yeah.
And Angie's on Facebook, and there's a guy locally who's posted in Facebook, "Hey, if anyone's got chickens, I need chicken poop for my rose garden or something like that,
right.
or gardening." Well, Angie, being the philanthropist that she is, decided, why, sure, you could come on over to our house and scoop the chicken poop out of our chicken coop.
I explained to him, hey, you made a rhyme. I explained to him my husband had recently broken his back and that if
That's
he...
right.
If,
Let him know that your husband's an invalid. Yeah, so, that helps.
dress.
Yep, and my address.
And
The door will be unlocked.
and I told him, if you will come and clean out our chicken coop, you can take all the poop
can
you
have all
want.
the poop you want.
Yeah. So
Because I was an invalid and I couldn't clean out the chicken coop.
Right.
So
I don't wanna
figured this
do
is a good way to get somebody to come out for free and clean our chicken coop.
yeah,
I mean, he was like late
115 years old.
60s, early 70s years old. So it's not like, well, I don't want to say he wasn't a threat. But so he showed up, what, about 2, 3 in the afternoon?
Yeah.
And so he hobbles himself out to our chicken coop.
He was in pretty poor health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And starts cleaning stuff out and doing what he's doing. He brings a bucket for his chicken poop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like within 30 minutes, he comes back to sit on our front porch to smoke a cigarette. Okay,
Well, so I go out and I'm friendly with
you're
him. but
talking to him.
I can't get away.
And then,
It's like 30
he
minutes
would
and he's
just
still
talk you to
talk.
death. He wouldn't
Yeah.
stop talking. He would just, every time you start shutting down for it, he'd just come up with another subject and
Mm-hmm.
just keep talking and talking. And I came out there and said hi because I hadn't come to the door earlier.
No,
because I'm on crutches.
You talked to me through the doorbell.
Oh, well, okay. At one point I talked to you through. I said, "Hey, Angie, I need you to come in here because I knew you were suffering."
Yeah, right.
But I felt it, only polite to go out and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm the guy with the broken back." Da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts talking to me.
Yeah.
And now,
Thanks for giving me a break.
I got to
by the way.
back up because after you agreed to let him come to get our chicken poop, you gave him my phone number to give the address and arrange things.
Right.
So he sends me a text and I say, "Okay, here's our address. You can come out tomorrow sometime, and then he's just sending me stuff like, "Yeah, I hardly ever sleep. I only get about 2 hours a night." And he literally said at some point, the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah.
He,
What people that don't sleep, that's a very common symptom of
Yeah.
bipolar disorder.
yeah. And he starts, I can't even recall
Crystal meth.
where we started into the conversation about guns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he asked me if I like reloading and stuff like that. I said yes, I am. I am an avid shooter. I like to reload, and he starts talking about some guns he got. And I'm starting to get a little uneasy feeling.
He's a little too friendly.
So I mentioned, yeah, I'm also a firearms instructor and a retired cop.
Yeah.
So just so he'd know.
Right.
But he just keeps going on and on this text, and I'm like, something ain't right here. But anyway, so because of that conversation, so I go out to chat with him. Hey, how you doing? I'm Brian. Da 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 da. He starts asking me, so you know anything about cleaning revolvers? And I'm like, well, yeah, I know about guns, so I know how to clean revolver. Well, I got this old revolver that used to be my dad's, and it's in my truck right now, and for some reason it won't do this or that. He couldn't get the cylinder to turn right or something like that. And I was just wondering if you might be able to clean that up and look at it and see what's going on with it. I'm like, well, I guess,
I mean, he was cleaning out the chicken
He was
coop,
cleaning out my chicken coop, so I thought maybe I could do him a favor and clean up this gun and see what wasn't working right for him,
Took about like 6 hours for him to.
Well, that's the
clean
thing
out
is,
that
okay,
coop.
so he brings me this gun. I say, okay, I'll clean it up a little bit and see if I can figure out what's going on with it. It's one of these little snub nose 38s. Well, he goes back to the chicken coop, and in 30 minutes, he's back to smoke a cigarette, and he's back out the chicken coop. And
then he's sitting on top of his bucket smoking out at the chicken coop.
There's that, and then he after he had cleaned all the poop out of the chicken coop, he wanted to know if we had some straw. I'm like, yeah, I got some straw. Now, I put straw in the laying boxes.
Yeah.
We have a chicken coop with a mesh floor so that when the chickens poop, for the most part, it's supposed to fall through. Also allows for ventilation and stuff like that. Well, he takes our straw and just throws straw in the entire chicken coop, and it took him like an hour to do it.
Yeah.
He's just taking a handful of straw and spreading it out, Rugen, a handful of straw and spreading it out. And then at some point he comes to you and saying that we need a bigger door on our chicken coop, and he was going to come out the next day and cut a new door on my chicken coop. I'm like, no, he's not.
Right. And then it was starting to get dark.
Exactly. He was there until dark.
And the hens won't go in the hen house with him in the coop.
Yeah.
So
he showed up at like 2 in the afternoon, and it's dark now, and he's still wanting to clean our. I don't know what he wants to do, but he was
just sitting out there
jerking around with
chain smoking, and so I went out twice, and each time I was stuck 15 minutes talking. Second time I went out, he was sitting on his bucket again. I picked up the tools we'd left out there for him to clean out the coop. I put them in the shed, and I said, we need to exit now because they won't go in the hen house.
Go in the coop, and we have an automatic door that'll shut, and then we got to worry about wrestling chickens and getting in the coop.
Then we walk to the front porch, and he sits down, pulls out his pack of cigarettes. So I sit down and talk to him, and he starts telling me about a medical problem he has that I won't repeat here because I don't want everybody to start throwing up on their computers.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he finally left.
Hey, that also had to do with a butt.
It did.
Just so
yeah. Hey, his problem's way worse than mine. He left, and then the next day he sent me a message on Facebook,
and it was had papers for you.
He had papers for me to sign, and I went, "What?"
Yeah.
And that's when it just got way too creepy. And now remember, Brian had his gun, okay, and then he showed up the next day, pulled into our driveway unannounced.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Unannounced.
Yeah.
Tank was outside, and I told him, stay away from Tank because he'll knock you down. Again, the guy was in poor health.
Yeah.
I said, he'll knock you down. I left Tank outside barking at him. The guy never got out of his truck, and he left again.
He pulled back out.
Then I texted him, and I said, I don't know why you need me to sign papers. You showed up at our house unannounced. You're not welcome here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I forgot that Brian still had his gun.
Which sticks me with this guy's gun.
Right.
And so I text him and I say, okay, listen, this whole, because, okay, he wanted to come like every week to clean out our chicken coop and collect his chicken.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work.
All right.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, listen, this whole idea you come in here once a week, it's not going to work. You're kind of making us a little uneasy. So why don't you come over here, get your gun. I've already got it cleaned up. I really can't fix the problem. You're going to have to take it to a gunsmith. And he wouldn't do it.
Because he thought I was going to
Yeah.
call the cops on
He's
him. Because I
like-
told him, if you show up again, I'm going to call the cops.
He's like,
Yeah.
well, let me. I don't remember seeing that in your message to him, but okay.
Yeah, I told
So-
him I was going to file trespassing
So
charges against him.
I said, listen, I'm giving you permission. Come to my house, get your gun, and then you can be done with us. And he's like, well, I'm going to call somebody else to come get it.
But nobody showed up.
And then it's like more than half the day goes by, and he doesn't. Yeah, nobody shows up.
Oh, and we
And-
had turned his bucket upside down on the porch and put the gun on top of it.
Yeah.
Where we could see from the
From the
doorbell
camera
cam
that-
when he picked it up, so he
Yeah.
could never claim that we stole the gun.
Yeah.
So you ended up needing to call the
Well,
sheriff. right?
it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I'm like, why has nobody come to pick this guy? Well, the person hasn't called me back, and I'm waiting. I'll see if somebody else can go get it. And I'm like, or you can come get your own damn gun.
Right.
Because that's the other thing. I didn't want somebody else showing up getting it, and then he says he never got it, and I
Right,
stole it.
right.
I
And
literally
then your
had-
fingerprints are all over it.
yeah, exactly. I literally had to call the sheriff's department
Explain
and
that
explain
crazy
the
situation.
story. I was kind of hoping to get a deputy out here, but they just called.
Yeah.
And I felt like such an idiot having to explain this whole stupid story. And the deputy's like, okay, yeah, let me.
Oh, the deputy recognized who you were talking about. Remember?
yeah.
He
When
said,
I
"I
gave
know
him
who
the
you're talking
address
Yeah.
for this guy,
Uh-huh.
he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, now I get it. And he's like, all right, let me call him, and So the deputy calls me back in about 15 minutes. He's like, okay, I explained to him that he can go to your house and just walk up to the door, get his gun, and then he has to leave, and then you're not going to call the police on him, and nothing's going to happen to him. Fine. He still rolled up with 2 other people in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
He parked outside of our driveway. The other 2 people got out and picked up the gun, and they left.
And his bucket.
So why couldn't you do that all day long?
Right.
But once the cops told you it was okay, you still show up, but you still had 2 other people to come get the gun.
Yeah.
It's like, how ridiculous. So yeah, we had our own little
It was
dose
weird.
of crazy that day.
Yeah. That
And
was
Angie's
very odd
never
situation.
allowed to invite any stranger to our house
Nope.
ever again,
That's right.
no
Yeah.
matter how bad they need chicken poop.
Yeah. I think that's been the longest home office episode portion of our podcast ever.
Probably. Yes.
Story though.
So there you go. Y'all got a double dose of home office today. Angie's butt sting, and then this guy wanting our chicken poop.
Chicken poop Charlie.
We live in an interesting part of the country.
That's true.
To
Yeah.
say the least. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Clayton, you got anything for us? You got any chicken poop stories or anything?
I don't have anything that could compete
You
with
can't
that.
compete
No,
with that
I
one,
don't.
can you? No,
I don't.
No.
I don't. I mean, the stings in the face were pretty intense, but
Well, folks, if you don't want to get stung in the face by the crazy prices out there from other publishers, and you also don't want to get stung in the butt by a scammer,
Yeah.
you need to come to booklocker.com, where we will treat you right. We've been in business for 27 years. We're family owned and operated. And when you send us a message by going to booklocker.com and clicking that contact link, your email will go directly to Angela Hoy, the president and CEO of the company. Now, how many other publishers are going to do that for you?
Well, none.
None. That's
We've always kept run a tight ship, and it's always been a family atmosphere, including authors. We consider them part of the Book Locker family, and I'm available to everybody.
Our publishing packages are amazingly competitive.
Yeah.
We compete with the big boys, and we can
Faster
get.
and less expensive.
Say that again.
We're faster and less expensive. We get a book to market within a month.
faster. We will get your book to the market within a month of you getting your final files to us.
Yeah.
And that includes cover design, formatting,
conversion.
all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, everything there is, so we can get your stuff on the market very, very quick, where a lot of other publishers are going to take up to a year to do that.
We are a lean, mean machine.
That's it. So come to the friendly folks, booklocker.com, get treated right, get your book out there within a month.
and if
after
you're
you-
being stalked,
We wanna
contact me
hear
through
about it.
writersweekly.com. Yeah. Click
Yeah.
the contact us button. We want to hear all about
There
it.
you go. If y'all like this episode, let us know in the comments section, and we'll be glad to put together another one. So This was fun. Clayton, it was good having you out here with us again.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Clayton's got to get. It's always funny.
Yep.
Clayton's got to get back to a big editing job.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you and I got to get back to work too.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
we appreciate y'all listening to this episode of the Writers Weekly Podcast, and we will see you again next week with another fantastic, exciting episode of the Writers Weekly Podcast.
Bye, everybody.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye, Clayton.